Good afternoon, good morning, and good evening to those listening and watching around the globe. Um, Welcome to another episode of the Talking Sports Podcast. It saddens us that we have to begin an episode this way, but we have to acknowledge the shooting that happened in Kansas City on Wednesday. Two juveniles were charged with crimes committed to a shooting in the Kansas City parade that happened downtown on Wednesday during the celebration of the Kansas City Chiefs Super Bowl championship, where two people were killed in a burst of gunfire and 22 others were injured. Um, it's just, and most of those were children of those that were injured. It's sad that that happened, that situation happened, and our thoughts and our prayers go out to the families of those that died, um, and our prayers and our condolences go out to them, and our thoughts and prayers go out to those who were injured, and we just pray for speedy recovery for those, and it's just a devastating situation. Jeremiah, your thoughts on that?
Yeah, definitely. Condolences and prayers go out to the family. Um, Sad situation for sure. During a parade that this happens. But um, they're facing the charges, I guess, the two juveniles, and you know, um, hopefully this doesn't happen again anymore. We never know why these things happen, but um,
Yeah,
we know God has a plan. So hopefully everybody will be okay as a result of this, and that this won't happen again.
yeah. I mean, it's just devastating because you know it's supposed to be a time of celebration, and it's supposed to be a joyous occasion where an entire city comes together, and maybe even those from outside the city, those fans that may not living in Missouri. They come in for the parade, and it's supposed to be a joyous occasion, and then something like this happens. It's just so very difficult, and you really begin to think about the future, and like, you know in these cities, like, do you do you go away from parades? Like, do you go away from you know mass gatherings like that? That's something that could potentially happen in these states. And we hope that's not the case, because parading for championships has been a thing for a long time, and it's just you want to be able to celebrate that, because not everybody gets to go to the Super Bowl. Not everybody can afford those tickets. Not everybody can go to a lot of games. And so if you can just travel into the city, and gather in a mass way for a parade, then that may be something that you may be more interested in. But for a shooting like this to happen, you begin to as families, like, plan, like, am I taking my children out for things like this when potentially something bad could happen? It just puts a lot of doubt and fear in people when we don't need that, especially already things already happen on a regular basis. And so it's just very difficult.
Yeah, no, it's true. And thing about it is that the parades are supposed to be for the fans. It's
Yeah.
for a chance for the fans to interact with their team that they support and love, and be able to celebrate with them. And like you mentioned, states, they may choose to prevent these type of gatherings and events in the future. And if that's the case, it would be um, a sad thing to have to do, but at the same time, it just might have to be something that's just recorded, that's just on the team. That's just the team does. They're recorded. It's a live stream. Send it out. Whatever the
Yeah,
case. Um, but that would be a sad thing to happen. But I would understand it if they had to.
yeah. Another thing that they could, celebrate in the team stadium, that's something that they could possibly do to avoid, though because you can't bring guns and weaponry inside those stadiums like that. So that would be something that would be checked at the door.
Yeah,
But when you're just outside, in a public area,
anybody
then
could be in there. Yeah,
anybody could be there. Anything could happen. You could just have, guns on you, and security. I'm sure is still tight, but it's just not the same. So, that's something that could potentially happen in the future, and we hope not. But with shootings and things like this happening, it's just very, very difficult, and I'm sure you know governments will want to you know try to prevent those things from happening in some way or another, just for safety purposes, which is understandable. And so, I'm sure the NFL has made statements and things like that. So we'll see in the future what happens with that as the years go by. But again, our thoughts, prayers, and condolences go out to those families that passed away or were injured, and we pray for speedy recovery for those who are injured. And so, um, yeah, that's uh, just yeah, it's just very sad.
definitely. Yeah, very sad. But still, we shouldn't let that take away from the Chiefs' success and what they were able to do in the Super Bowl. And we'll get
Yeah.
get into more of that later. But um, still, shout out to the Chiefs.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And a lot of their players were very gracious, and they, tweeted out some heartfelt messages to those families. And Taylor Swift even donated 100,000 to the families, and so that was very, very good on her. Very, um, very heartfelt, and I'm sure very appreciated. So. As we transition, outside of that, let's move into a major event in our NBA association, and that is the NBA All-Star Weekend. It's going on this weekend. Last night we had the Celebrity Game and the Rising Stars Challenge. Cowboys' very own Micah Parsons comes out with 37 points to win MVP of that celebrity game. He dominated. I watched a little bit of that. He was very athletic, very explosive,
Yeah,
dunks, getting to the rim. And so, it just shows a little bit of his athletic side outside of football. And there were other football players that played as well. We had Puka Nacua from the Los Angeles Rams, wide receiver. He played. CJ Stroud played quarterback for the Texans. And so, pretty interesting game. And, I'm sure it's going to be talked about in NFL circles, for quite a while. So, Benedict Mathurin was the MVP of the Rising Stars game. Him and his team, they pulled away and came up with the victory there for that team. And so tonight's activities and festivities will be taking place in Indianapolis for All Star Weekend Saturday night, which is probably the main event, I guess you could say, for All Star Weekend because of those events. So we have the skills challenge, 3-point shooting challenge, and then tonight we have a special 3-point contest between Steph Curry and Sabrina Ionescu. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. And then the slam dunk contest. And so, starting out with the skills challenge, we have Team Pacers, which is going to be Tyrese Halliburton, Benedict Mathurin, and Miles Turner going up against Team top picks: Paulo Banchero, Anthony Edwards, and Victor Wembanyama. So three teams total for that. So the team all stars is Scotty Barnes, Tyrese Maxey, and Trey Young. And so for those of you who are unaware, the skills challenge is a combination of shooting, passing, and dribbling skills, all put together in one kind of obstacle course type event where we have somebody shooting, passing, and it's time based. So you have to complete all the challenges within that obstacle course at a certain time, and whoever has the shortest amount of time, they win. So Jeremiah, who do you have for the skills challenge tonight?
So this is probably I don't want to say a hot take, but I just want to go with Victor. I don't know why. I just do it.
Okay.
I think I just want to
Okay.
see it in. Uh,
Yeah.
the thing is about it is that you have to be fast
Yeah.
doing the challenge. So he probably won't win. That team probably won't win. But uh, I'll go with Victor just for the laughs.
Okay. Okay. So team top picks. Jeremiah's taking team top picks. I'm gonna go with Team Pacers. I just think they have the best combination of like all those things. So like Tyrese, he's a great all around player, so he can pass, dribble, and shoot. He's the point guard of that team. And Miles Turner, he's a great shooter. Benedict Mathurin is a combo forward type, so he can do it all. So and they're in Indiana. They're at their home. So I'm gonna go with Team Pacers just because I think they want to bring it home for their fans in Indianapolis, and I think they're gonna pull it out. And I really like Tyrese Halliburton. He's a great player, and I believe he's a Christian as well. So I'm I'm going for him. I'm going for Tyrese Halliburton for Team Pacers.
Fair enough. Yeah, that's a good take. They probably will squeeze it out. So
Yeah, yeah. So next we have our 3-point shooting contest, and honestly, as a shooter, personally, this is like my favorite contest for Saturday night. Um, I've always been a shooter. I've always had a shot, and so I really gravitate towards this event. So we have Malik Beasley, Jalen Brunson, Tyrese Halliburton, Damian Lillard, who was last year's winner. So he's coming back to avenge his title. Laurie Markkinen, Donovan Mitchell, Carl Anthony Towns, and Trey Young. So those are the contestants for tonight's 3-point shooting contest. Honestly, these are a lot of great shooters. I honestly don't know who's gonna win. It's really like who's gonna be hottest at the
right,
time, but I don't know. Cat is the greatest like 3-point shooting big,
right.
but I don't know if he's like I don't know if he's more I feel like he's more of a game shooter. Like
I
I
agree.
don't know if he's just a shoot anytime, anywhere type player.
Yeah.
Um I'm gonna man, this is tough. Who do you pick? I don't know. Who are you picking?
No, this is tough. So I like Dame again. Uh,
Yeah.
I think I could see Jalen Brunson winning it though,
Really?
just because like he's a lefty. He is pretty consistent from three.
Yeah.
It's a tough one. I think I'm gonna go Dame still. I just feel like
Mhm.
he's probably the best volume shooter there,
Yeah.
and if he gets hot, it's probably over.
Yeah, I could really see that. I so I'm gonna give you my top three. So
Okay,
I'm gonna say Dame in no order.
okay,
Dame, Trey Young, and Donovan Mitchell. I'm gonna go
really?
with those three. Yeah, I think they can get hot and like win around and get hot and then just kind of carry their momentum to the next round. So out of those three, I'm gonna pick Trey Young. I think, yeah, I'm gonna pick Trey Young. We know he's got range, and so he's streaky as well. But
True.
I think I think I'm gonna pick him to win it, and we'll see what happens. So yeah, and then so you got Dame, I got Trey Young, so
Yep.
we'll see who wins. So the next contest is the 3-point shooting contest between Steph and Sabrina, which is something new that they've added this year. And I think Sabrina said that she's going to actually shoot from the men's 3-point line, which is further out from the WNBA line. So is this going to be, is it even going to be a contest or is Steph going to just blow her out of the water?
I think it will be a contest. I feel like Steph starts out kind of slow at these 3-point contests, and then the
Yeah,
last like two racks, he'll get hot. So if Sabrina can be consistent across it
yeah,
all, it could be close, but I got Steph.
yeah. I think Steph's going to win now. I don't know if they're going to factor like some 4-point stuff into it or like
I hope
stuff
so.
like that. That would be cool to see. But yeah, I'm gonna take Steph here. It's gonna be interesting to see though. And so the last event tonight is the slam dunk contest. And honestly, man, I've watched this event for years and years, as you know, since All Star Weekend has been going on in February, and it has just increasingly just dropped in its luster, I guess you can say. But tonight we have Jalen Brown, Mac McClung, last year's winner, Jaime Jaquez from the Miami Heat, and Jacob Toppin from the New York Knicks. Um, who do you think is going to win this? It's an interesting group of guys, but they're not really, not all of them are really dunkers like that. Um, Jacob Toppin is a high flyer, like his brother Obi.
Right.
Mac McClung, we know, his story with, all the dunks that he did last season and being a shorter player, but can really, elevate. Um, I don't know who's gonna win. Who do you say?
Uh, I think I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go back again because I feel like to win these dunk contests the way they are now
Yeah.
is not really about dunking ability. It's just
Okay.
kind of like flashy. Can you make it look?
Yeah.
And Mac has great ability. They all have great ability to dunk. But I think how he won last year was that it was explosive, it was flashy, it looked really cool. So
Yeah.
if he could replicate that, he could probably take it again.
Yeah. Yeah. I can see that. I'm gonna go dark horse and say Jacob Toppin.
Yeah,
Just because he's not a no name. Like people know of him. Like he's Obi's brother, Obi Toppin's brother, and um, he's kind of long, kind of lanky. I think he can really elevate more than the others. I think he might be the tallest out of them. With
I think
maybe
so.
very yeah. With maybe, well, I don't know how tall Jaime is, but um, I feel like he can do a lot. With his elevation and creativity. But I don't see Jalen Brown or Jaime Jaquez winning at all. Jalen Brown was just such a when I saw it, Jalen Brown was just such an odd like
Right.
addition to the slam dunk contest. Like he barely dunks in game.
Yeah.
He his elevation, he doesn't really have hops like that, and not in my opinion. I mean, he can
Yeah.
dunk, of course,
Right.
but like he's not a high flyer like most of these other guys could be. And Mac McClung is shorter, but he has hops. Like he can get up there.
Yeah, right.
Um, so it's either between Mac and Jacob Toppin to me.
Yeah.
So
No,
so
yeah,
yeah,
for sure.
it's gonna be interesting to see. Let us know down in the comment section who you think is gonna win the skills challenge, the 3-point shooting contest, the 3-point challenge between Steph and Sabrina, and then the slam dunk contest. Let us know down in the comment section below. And so, as we transition to the bulk of our episode, I just want to remind you all to like the video, comment, subscribe, and share with your friends and family. We're on the road to 100 subscribers. We're just about halfway there. So, liking the video, subscribing really help get our numbers up. Thank you so much. So, Jeremiah, you see it. You see it. You see it, bro. We
I
did
do.
it. We did it, man.
Yes, y'all did it. And you know, as I mentioned in the last episode, the week leading up to the Super Bowl, man, something didn't feel right. I don't know what it was. I had my 49ers pick all season.
Yeah.
It was 49ers Ravens. That was it. And going into the Super Bowl, I was like, what am I doing? Why am I about to pick against Andy Reid,
Yeah.
against Patrick Mahomes, and against that defense? So y'all did it. Shout out to y'all, man.
Yeah. No, it was a great game though, to be honest
Yeah,
with you.
yeah.
The 49ers, they really played better than I thought they would. Um it it was a lot closer than I thought it was gonna be. I had the score 30-16. Um the the Chiefs didn't get to 30, but the 49ers didn't get to 25-28. like I like they would really need to win. Um, McCole Hardman touchdown reception late in overtime to seal it on a very familiar play. We've seen the Chiefs run this play in big game moments throughout the years, and the fact that they ran that play again with a little bit of variation, but essentially the same play is very tough for the 49ers when you think about it in hindsight, right? What was your key to the game?
Man, this was a really weird first half.
Hmm.
Um, as I was watching it unfold, I was like, dude, like, why are they playing so passive? Like they were just. I knew it was going to open up in the second half. I mean, it was just a slow burn. Uh,
Yeah.
but I think my key was which coach would make the smarter decision down the stretch and who would get the ball last.
Mm,
Because both defenses played very well, I feel like, but both were kind of tired at the end of the game. You could kind of tell
very
they
true.
were getting gassed a little bit. But really, I mean, it's as simple as the key is Patrick Mahomes, and he had the ball last, and he punished them for it. So, and something else too that I think is a important thing to note is that Patrick Mahomes was the leading rusher for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah.
That's very unexpected with the way Pacheco's been playing, especially this postseason and how good he's been. 49ers held him to 59 yards, which I mean, 60 yards isn't horrible,
Yeah.
uh, especially against a good defense. But Mahomes had 9 rushes for 66 yards. Like, I don't know. So I think those are my keys. I think Andy Reid coached a better game. I think Mahomes played better than Purdy. Defense ultimately played better than 49ers defense. So for me, those are my keys.
Yeah. I I agree with you. I think the Patrick Mahomes is always a factor because he's just the greatest quarterback. But I do think that the defense, for me, the defense was the key. And when we look at, and I said this last week, L'Jarius Sneed, Trent McDuffie, and Justin Reed were going to be the three keys to the game. Chris Jones, he played well. I think he had a sack or two. Well, no, he had a quarterback hit and some hurries. I don't know if he had a sack. I don't have that stat on me right now. But Debo, Samuel, and Ayuk had three catches each. Kittle had two catches for 4 yards. And really he had one catch for 4 yards and one catch for 0 yards. But um that yeah, the secondary was just outstanding. And I think that was the key because when you look at the catches that they had, Debo and Ayuk, they were against safeties. And the 49ers did not take advantage of that as often as they should have. They should have been searching for those matchups. Ayuk and Debo against the Chiefs safeties, Reed and Connor. They didn't take advantage of it enough.
Yeah.
And we well, I mean, I know, and you all may know watching that Sneed should have been first team all pro. McDuffie was first team all pro. So we know that they're locked down corners. And we saw it, take place during the game. They just couldn't really get a lot going from those players in the game, and especially that long touchdown pass to Debo, where Trent McDuffie, batted it down. Huge play in the game. Trent McDuffie on the blitz, batting the ball down from Purdy. That would have been a key, very key first down. That was a huge play and probably the play of the game defensively. And then Mahomes being Mahomes, another stellar game, 34 for 46, 333 yards, two touchdowns and one pick. And you said it, nine rushes for 66 yards, which that's gonna kill you. You
Yep.
you have to limit Mahomes' scramble ability. And if you don't, he's going to get those key first downs in those key situations. Two huge rushes late in the game for big yardage, and you know just a tough situation for the 49ers because what do you do? And it's like I said before, it's hard to game plan against Mahomes. You play zone, he carves you up. You try to blitz, you play man, he's gonna run around. You have to have a spy on them at all times. And if you have a spy on them, that takes away from somebody that can be in coverage or somebody that can rush. So it's just very difficult. And so Patrick Mahomes wins Super Bowl MVP for the third time. And they pull away late in the game. But I really do, want to shout out the 49ers. They played a great game. They got turnovers. How about eight fumbles in the game? Somewhere around there. That, like you said, the first half was just sloppy and just super. I feel like they were just super tense
Yeah.
and kind of scared. Like I said during the game, I was like, why is everybody fumbling so much?
Yeah.
Like they just seemed scared. Like the pressure of the moment just was just tough out there. So, but no, it was a great game for sure.
Yeah. No, it was a great game. And, looking back on it, I was sitting with some friends watching the game, and once the game went to overtime, I knew the Chiefs had it because The 49ers didn't know the overtime rules.
That's the craziest thing to me, bro. That's the craziest thing to me.
And there's proof. There's proof
Yeah,
because
there is.
there's a video of Nick Bosa after the game basically saying, I didn't know the rules. I didn't know that would happen if they scored this and that. Like, what? How do you not game plan for OT? The Chiefs, all they did was game plan for OT and go over rules and scenarios. How do
Yeah,
you not do that for the 49ers?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, it's got to come down to coaching, but like that's that's just unseen. Like that's incredible. I can't understand that at all.
That's like being in a playing a soccer game and it's a championship game and you don't practice penalty kicks before the game. Like you have
Exactly.
to do that just in case that happens.
Right.
So
And it was new rules, so like the referee said we're basically gonna be playing a new game.
yeah,
So like fact that they didn't know that now, like and this was on TV and I heard this was like, what if the 49ers scored a touchdown first and then they thought it was over? They
yeah,
would have been cheering, like they would have been running out on the field throwing their helmets, and the referees were like, flag, excessive celebration.
right.
Like, this
Game's not
game
over.
is not over.
Yeah. And I think too another reason why a proof of that they didn't know the rules was because with these OT rules, it's best to kick off,
Yeah,
not receive.
exactly.
And so the viral clip of Mahomes running off the field saying, they wanted the ball, they can have the ball. Like they
Right.
were once OT started, the game was over. So
Yeah,
but I want to give a shout out to Nick Bolton for linebacker for the Chiefs. 13
yeah,
total tackles.
yeah,
Honestly, I think he played better than Fred Warner. Nobody really wants to talk about that, but he was everywhere, locked up
yeah.
Kittle most of the game. Uh, when he was on a receiver in the slot or whatever, he did very well. Stopping the run as well. McCaffrey um, played a very good game as well. So, I want to give him the credit. Nobody's really talking about him. So I just want to give him a shout out.
Yeah, yeah. Shout out to Nick Bolton for sure. He's a amazing linebacker. And we want to give our prayers out to Dre Greenlaw.
For sure.
We know that he, for those of you who don't know, he went to the University of Arkansas. We are we were both born in Arkansas, so shout out to him. Got injured towards Achilles during the game, and so I know that was a tough blow for the 49ers, just losing him. But hope that he has a speedy recovery and can come back stronger next season. But yeah, I think a lot of this game came down to coaching, and Kyle Shanahan is he. It's just unfortunate he lost another game where he was up by 10, and you know against Mahomes is difficult because he is the best quarterback when he's down 10.
Yeah.
Uh, he's 9-2 in the playoffs when he's down by 10, or he's either in the playoffs or just overall. Um, but he's 9-2, and that record is just astounding. He's just a comeback king, and you can never count him out. Uh, he's Cal Shanahan is 0-4 against the Chiefs overall, and 0-2 in Super Bowls. And so,
And I want to give him 0-3. I mentioned it already. I want to give him
yeah,
0-3 because of what happened against the Falcons when he was offensive
okay,
coordinator.
yeah,
He wasn't the head coach, but I'm gonna give him 0-3 because when you have that lead as the offensive coordinator, run the ball. He did the same thing this game. Well,
yeah.
go ahead. I'll let you go ahead. I'll let you finish.
No, but you make a great point though. We tend to forget about that because he was offensive coordinator and not the head coach. But you're right. 0-3 in Super Bowls. As a coach overall. And is this something that is just it's just him now? We put that, with him just being not being able to sustain leads. Um, but also you have to factor into it that Mahomes and Brady are the two best quarterbacks ever. So, that plays a part into it as well. But honestly, you know, 28-3 is just ridiculous. Like that's probably the most improbable comeback in Super Bowl history. That was crazy. But for this game, just very tough. You have to run the ball. I think in the third quarter there was a possession where they threw it either third or fourth quarter. They threw it 9 of the 11 plays, something around there. When they should have run the ball. And when you abandon the run, those things happen, especially if you have a lead and you need to burn some clock. So, coaching is obviously very important. But yeah, Cal Shanahan, a lot of people are asking, does he need a change of scenery? 49ers, it's been a while since they've won a Super Bowl, and they've been in a lot of conference championships and Super Bowls and things of that nature. So what type of coach is he? That's a conversation that we can probably have in the future when we're giving our rundown of teams for the off season. And but he coached very well. I just thought he was very nervous. He was pacing the entire game. And I said that first quarter, I was like, this dude is nervous. He is
And
like it wasn't a like just I'm walking the sidelines because my team is down here. He looked like you can see it in his face and the way he was walking. He just seemed very nervous.
and I want to make a point about that because a lot of what he did in the first half worked.
Yeah.
You have the trick play where McCaffrey got the touchdown. Great
Hmm.
play, great play call.
Yeah.
Um, and it's like the second half, all of that goes out the window. And I have friends who are high school coaches and middle school coaches with their offensive coordinators, things like that in the area, and they say a lot of these coaches have you know 15 to 25 set plays that
Hmm.
they'll run through in the first half. Same thing for the second half. And my question to Shanahan is, how do you have these first half master classes almost in terms of play calling, and the second half that just shuts down? Like, why not try another trick play in the second half? The first one worked. I'm sure you have multiple. You have plenty.
Yeah.
If one works, why not try another one? If if you have the lead and you want to preserve the lead, I understand still that you still want to try and score, but take the ball out of Purdy's hands. You McCaffrey had 30 touches. He's carried you this far. Make him
Right.
get 40.
Yeah.
Keep running him into the ground. Like if that's
What
the
it
the
takes.
scenario and that's been working for you all season, why go away from it?
Yeah. I just think, you know, we have to remember also that Jawan Jennings almost won that Super Bowl MVP. And we talked about it last week. I was like, if Jawan Jennings is gonna win you the Super Bowl MVP,
So
hands
be it.
up, so be it. Like, and he almost did, but they kind of went away from him. Like, we know that Trent McDuffie and L'Jarius Sneed were gonna be on Ayuk and Debo. Okay, Kittle and Jennings are gonna have to be the X factors because they're gonna be shut down. So you need somebody else to step up. And on the play where Chris Jones got the hurry on Purdy, that play was for Jennings. He did a zig and was open, but Chris Jones got the hurry and forced the incompletion. And so, they were trying to go to him a little bit, but I think they should have went with him a little more because he was getting open. You know, the third and fourth corners are not the best on the Chiefs. And then if he's on a safety, safeties don't cover as well as corners do. And so you got to take advantage of those players that have the better matchup. And I kind of feel like they went away from him a little bit, but also, he was making plays. Conley was making plays, former Chief. Shout out to him. He was making plays in special teams and had a big catch too early in the game. But I don't think he got another catch if I'm remembering correctly. But yeah, coaching is vital, and you really gotta continue with what you're doing first half to second half with some adjustments sprinkled in here and there from what the other team is doing. So, um, so yeah, it's just difficult. Yeah,
Let me ask you this question because listening to reporters and analysts leading up to the Super Bowl,
yeah.
for the ones that picked the 49ers to win,
Hmm.
the main thing that was said, or at least that I heard, was that 49ers were talented
Hmm.
and you have Kittle, you have Debo, you have McCaffrey,
Yeah.
you have Ayuk, you have Fred Warner.
Hmm.
What I didn't hear was that if the 49ers win this game, it's going to be because of Brock Purdy. And looking back on the game and just reflecting on it, I don't think we can give him a pass,
Purdy.
Purdy.
Okay.
And I'm going to give him a grade, taking a segment from your favorite show, First Things First here. I'm
Okay.
gonna grade I'm gonna grade Purdy. I'm gonna read his stat line. It's 23 for 38,
Okay.
255 yards, one touchdown, no interceptions, and he had three carries for 12 yards, and one of his runs was 9 yards. Um, Now you look at that and you're like, it's a decent game. Didn't turn the ball over, kind of spread the ball around a little bit, but completion percentage wasn't great. His total QBR was 70.
Yeah.
Um, to me, a lot of the throws early in the second half looked very pedestrian, very low. I mean, Debo had 11 targets. He caught three. A lot of those balls were in the ground.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he was rattled. I mean, it wasn't raining, so there's no excuse there. Um,
And inside a dome.
right. So I don't know. I think a lot of a lot of people are giving Purdy a pass for this game. I'm not doing that. I'm giving him a D.
A D.
A D.
Wow. I was for my grade. I was I'm giving him a B minus. I mean,
D.
yeah. I mean, he didn't play bad. He didn't play great either. But that's Brock Purdy. Like he's a good quarterback. Like he's above average. And so above average is if you put it in a grade, it's a B minus. Like I mean, it's that's what you get, and that's the thing that's why you see the game plan change a little bit because the first half you can make the throws. The first half is very very little pressure, but second half, fourth quarter, and overtime, that's when you need the difference maker. That's when you need the game changer, not the game manager. And Brock Purdy is not that. So that's why you see those balls in the dirt. That's why you see those hurried throws that don't get to their intended target because Brock Purdy is what he is, and that's why the game plan changes. That's why Shanahan loses, fourth quarter leads and doesn't come through in big moments because he's never had a game changing quarterback. Now, Matt Ryan, when they went to the Super Bowl for Atlanta, he was MVP, but still you don't think he's better than Tom Brady. Like he was Matt Ryan that year was just a product of the offense. We don't see his other years without Kyle Shanahan the same way of that year, obviously, because he only has that one MVP and he has some good seasons here and there, but not like that one. So and Kyle Shanahan with the 49ers, you got Trey Lance, you got Jimmy Garoppolo and Brock Purdy, like those are not game changing quarterbacks. And that's why you see those things happening. So it's just, you gotta have a guy. And if you don't have a guy in this league at quarterback, if you don't have a dude, as they say, in the league as quarterback, it's very tough to win. And so that's what happens.
And I agree with you. You're right, but I think that's why I'm giving him a D because he didn't do anything. The like, here, let me ask you this question: If you put Dak Prescott
Yeah.
on this 49ers team, just a random hypothetical, if you put Dak Prescott on this 49ers team and the same thing happened, do you think that the entire NFL and sports world would not be coming for Dak Prescott's head?
Well, they would. And they would be saying he didn't do enough to win.
So
And
why are we not hearing?
nobody's saying, I
Okay,
don't know.
okay,
I, I I don't know. I mean, on this show, that's what we gonna do. He
I'm
didn't
all
do
for it.
enough to win.
Yeah,
And he played okay, but he didn't do enough. And part of that, of course, is the Chiefs defense. So I
true.
mean, you gotta he didn't turn the ball over. He didn't, I mean, Mahomes threw a pick.
Yeah,
He did. So I mean, but you have to be able to overcome that. But you know, you get what you got.
yeah, yeah. No, it's true. Um, I just think that it's interesting these hypocritical scenarios we have in the NFL. Like, I just feel like if there was any other quarterback, he either would have been praised if he did better, or
Yeah.
they would have been his head because he didn't do enough, didn't do anything really.
Yeah, yeah, no, I completely agree. But overall, great Super Bowl. Uh, I I had some very tense moments. I was nervous, but I think once the play that changed it for me was the muffed punt, not muffed punt, but the fumble punt where it hit the 49ers foot and
Yep.
they pounced on it. That was the game changer for me. That's when I knew like, okay, I think we're gonna win this game because turnovers like that are game changers where
Yep.
it's just those quick change moments. The Chiefs got on the field and instantly scored MVS. Um, that's when I knew it was like, okay, we're in this thing. But I wasn't really just knowing Mahomes and his ability to come back and be from down and win games like that. I wasn't completely afraid that they were going to lose, but it was some very tense moments for sure. I was a little nervous.
It was. No, it was a lot of tense moments. And on first look, when that punt happened, I didn't even see it hit his foot.
Yeah,
I had to watch the replay like once or twice, and I was like, because I was like, why did they try and jump on the ball? Like it didn't touch anybody, but it
yeah,
obviously hit his leg,
right.
and that was a huge. I mean, the momentum. shifted completely after that.
Absolutely, absolutely. But yeah, no, it was a great game. I'm excited. So happy for my Chiefs. Get another Super Bowl, and so the question is now: are the Chiefs a dynasty?
Yes, absolutely. Um, I think you have a generational quarterback, you have Hall of Fame tight end, you have one of the best NFL coaches ever.
Yep, Andy
I
Reid. I
think
agree.
I think Andy Reid has to be in that conversation, not only for what he did with the Chiefs, but also the Eagles because
Yeah,
he had success there as well.
yeah.
So
Sustained success there.
right,
Didn't get the Super Bowl. There with the Eagles, but
yeah,
very sustained success. Great players that we look back on as kind of semi legends and
yeah,
very very great players. So yeah, I agree. I mean just being a Cowboys fan as well. I was not happy about those days for sure when Andy Reid
right,
was coaching those teams and those
yeah,
battles year by year and week by week. But yeah, great coach and a very young defense. I think that's the key when you have a generational quarterback and a young defense with superstars. You can really make a run year by year, and all those other pieces, in between, can kind of shift in and out. We'll see what happens if they're able to re-sign Chris Jones and L'Jarius Sneed. One of them may have to move on because of pay and money reasons, but we'll see. I think they still do have some cornerstone pieces that will be under contract and will stay. But I do think, and we're getting into a little bit of off-season stuff for the Chiefs, but while we're talking about them, I feel like a lot of free agents now will come to Kansas City. You know, that'll be one of their destination spots because number one, they want to win. They want to win a Super Bowl. So you'll see some of those older players who want to win a Super Bowl. They'll come to Kansas City for cheap. With wide receivers. I want Patrick Mahomes to be able to throw me the ball. Stuff like that. Defensive players, players in general just want to come there because you have a winning organization. And so, we'll see what happens there with that. But yeah, no, I'm looking forward to everything moving forward, and I do believe also that it's a dynasty in the making. And I just want to caution you fans out there of these other teams, don't let's not do this. We're not gonna hate on the Chiefs like we hated on the Patriots. This is not that. This is not the same thing. You don't have to hate winners. Trust me, I was one. I did not like the Patriots when they were, winning those championships, and
yeah,
I had a found respect for Tom Brady just knowing that he was the GOAT. But yeah, I didn't like them because they're not my team. But I feel like this is different. You don't have the cheating scandals of the Patriots, so I feel like this is a little bit different.
yeah. No, it is different. Obviously, a lot of people hate on Travis Kelsey and someone who shall not be named.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah,
but it's different. They're not. You had the whole incident against the Ravens with Kelsey and Mahomes, messing with Justin Tucker and
yeah,
doing all that stuff, and they can appear to be villains at times.
yeah.
Um, but but it's different. They're not the Patriots. That they haven't been to 6, 7 straight. It's
Right,
it's a
right.
different scenario. They haven't been terrorizing the AFC for a decade. Like it's different.
Yeah,
Maybe they'll get there, but
right.
it's not the same villain arc for me. And last point about the Chiefs defense and off season. Going back to the beginning of the season, I was on record saying a lot that this Chiefs team wasn't that good.
Yeah,
And that lasted for a few weeks.
yeah,
And it's the fact that they still managed to pull it out. They still managed to go through the hardest road in the AFC, being the Dolphins, Bills, and Ravens.
Yep.
They still managed to get to the Super Bowl and win it. And when you do that without having the best season, the best record, the best team,
Yeah. Right.
I feel like it's easier to replicate that year after year. And so,
Right. Yeah, I agree.
like you said, if they can get, some of those guys back uh, on defense, still think you need a little bit of help on offense with the receiving core, but
Yeah, it definitely.
they're getting older, they're getting more experience, and so depending on who they re-sign and keep there, will be interesting to see. But definitely a dynasty. They're gonna win a few more Super Bowls at least.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. And but I have two final points. The defense, like you mentioned, didn't allow 28 points all season long.
Yeah,
Um,
huge. That's huge.
they only allowed 25 points once. And when you have a defense like that that doesn't give up a lot of points, that just means you don't have to score a whole bunch,
Right.
you know? And that helped the offense, that helped the team, especially this year because they struggled offensively during the regular season.
Yeah.
And so, their defense really carried them. And Spagnola immediately after the game got an extension. And he's gonna be DC for them probably till he retires. You got to keep a talent, a mind like that. You got to keep him in the fold. And he's just been amazing for a long time. And the last point on the Super Bowl, um, the odds for next season, Las Vegas odds for next season have the 49ers winning the Super Bowl next season. And I don't understand, number one, the disrespect of the Chiefs. Like I like explain to me how and why the 49ers would be favored over anybody, but especially the Chiefs. Like it doesn't matter. It doesn't make sense. The 49ers haven't won a Super Bowl since 1994, I want to say, or 93, something like that. And so, everybody bags on the Cowboys for this long streak of not having a Super Bowl or not having a conference championship in this many years. The 49ers is before that. And then they just lost to the Chiefs this past season. They lost to the Super Bowl a few years ago. Like, this team should not be favored. I understand it's difficult and nobody has ever three-peated in the NFL, but the disrespect of the Chiefs is just crazy. And if they don't want the Chiefs to go back to back to back, then you should probably respect them a little bit because they're gonna see that, they're gonna take that, and they're gonna use it as motivation that they don't believe in us. And that's not the Patrick Mahomes you want to see. Like, I don't know if they understand that. I don't know if Las Vegas is even factors that into their odds, but it's just horrible.
It is disrespect. And I think the important thing, I guess, for odds and betting is talent. I guess that's
Yeah.
what they look at.
Yeah.
Talent doesn't win you Super Bowls. We
Not all
saw
the time.
not all the time. No, most cases it's not. And I think the other thing too is that you mentioned the 49ers, Super Bowl winning drought. They can get there. They've proven
Yeah.
that they can get there.
Exactly.
They've proven that they're the best team in the NFC for a few
Yep.
years.
Yep.
Can't win. And so for them, if Andy Reid, Kelsey, and Mahomes stay together, which they are, I don't think any of them are leaving or retiring.
Yeah. Yeah, they are.
There's no reason why they shouldn't be the favorite. No
It just
reason.
seems easy. It just seems easy.
Right. Exactly. It should be logical. It should be simple. Um, I don't know. The AFC is stronger than the NFC anyway, in my opinion.
Agreed. Agreed.
So even if the Chiefs don't make it, I'm still probably picking whoever comes out of the AFC.
Baltimore or the Bengals or
Right. Right.
somebody else.
So for them to pick the 49ers an NFC team, I don't know. That seems idiotic to me.
Yeah. Yeah. Very, very. So yeah, that was that. Let us know your thoughts down below in the comment section. What you all think about the Chiefs' dynasty chances and the Chiefs' chances next season to three-peat. That's very interesting. Interesting topic. We're definitely going to be down in the comment section, so hit us up there.
Yes. I got to
Our
do,
um, our final
yeah,
topics, our last two topics are Nobleman of the week, Jeremiah. Who you got this week?
absolutely. Nobleman of the week. Everybody knows his name, Patrick Mahomes. I don't know his middle name. Do you know his middle name? I don't know.
I don't know his middle name,
I don't know
but
either.
he's a junior though.
It's true. That's true. Yes, Nobleman of the week last week goes to Patrick Mahomes. Um, don't bet against him. Don't pick against him. You
Yeah,
will be disappointed every single time. We
yeah,
mentioned his stat line earlier, but to have the confidence, the leadership he had in overtime, to throw all on the 49ers defense, to run all on the 49ers defense, just showed why he's the greatest QB in the league right now and really deserves all the respect
yes.
for the Chiefs winning this game. So shout out Mahomes for taking his third Super Bowl, and we'll see what happens again next year. Probably be sitting down having the same convo, but we'll see what happens.
Exactly, exactly. Hopefully, maybe we'll see. And so, yeah, I think that's a perfect nobleman of the week. Patrick Mahomes, third Super Bowl MVP. Like you said, greatest quarterback in our NFL league that we've seen since Brady. So, last and final segment of the show. So what you're watching, I love this topic. I love this segment. Jeremiah, are you watching anything special right now?
So we had Valentine's Day this past week,
Yep.
and a few movies came out. We had the Bob Marley movie, which
Okay.
did very well in the box office, and you had the Madam Web movie, who is produced by Sony, doing terrible in the box office. I
Yeah.
haven't seen either of those movies.
Okay.
Let me tell you what I have seen. I've seen the Deadpool trailer, which came out
Yes.
during the Super Bowl. We saw a Deadpool and Wolverine.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen the X-Men 97 trailer, which came out
Okay.
a few days ago. And I've seen the Fantastic Four announcement. Now, those are three MCU Marvel slates.
Yes.
They were like, this is a down week. I guess they had a bad 2023. So they were like, let's release everything now. So I've been watching trailers. I've been watching breakdown videos of those
Yeah.
three topics, and really has me excited for later 2024 and into 2025 as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Those were huge, huge, um, trailers and things that came out this past week. And so, yes, I'm watching those as well, watching all the breakdowns. If you aren't subscribed, subscribe to the New Rock Stars channel on YouTube. Follow them on Instagram and Twitter at New Rock Stars. Also, Emergency Awesome, another YouTuber. Shout out Charlie. Um,
Charlie,
another YouTuber on that platform that covers everything Marvel, everything DCU, and I haven't watched. I did watch the breakdown of the Madam Web, and they say that it is just not very good. Um, But don't take our word for it. Go out to theaters and
Yeah,
check out Madam Web, wherever that movie is showing, and check out the Deadpool and Wolverine trailer. Jeremiah, I am currently watching the previous 5 seasons of the X-Men animated series on Disney Plus. X-Men 97 comes out March 20th.
yep,
So my wife and I, we are going to be watching the X-Men animated series just to get caught up with
yep,
that. And so when the new episodes drop on March 20th, we'll be caught up with the storyline as they're going to be just continuing that story of the X-Men. So that is what I'm watching. And so you all can tune into that as well on Disney Plus if you have Disney Plus. X-Men animated series. Just check it out. But yeah, that's what I'm watching.
for sure. Yeah, no, that's some good stuff. Got some exciting stuff coming. I'm gonna rewatch that as well just to get ready for it.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, y'all let us know in the comments what y'all are watching. Any good shows, any good movies. 2024, spring of 2024 will be pretty stacked with movies. So we got
yeah.
some exciting stuff coming out.
Yeah, honestly, from spring all the way to the end of the year, because I think Moana's coming out, and we haven't seen a trailer for that one yet. But they quietly dropped that. The Moana 2 is coming out. Don't let my daughter hear me say that. Moana 2 is coming out. Yeah, Moana 2 is coming out. I think in November, maybe Thanksgiving. So that's gonna be fun. I don't know if the Rock may be coming back as Maui. More than likely he is,
Yeah,
um, but yeah. So summer Deadpool, and then we got a lot of we got I think a Star Wars show that's coming out. But yeah, it's just gonna be a great summer, spring through the end of the year for TV and movies.
yeah,
So very excited about that. 2023 was just such a down year for movies and things like that. So
yeah.
we're excited that those movies and shows are going to be coming back. We'd love to, take part of those, watch those, and go to the movie theaters and things like that. So let us know your favorite shows on Netflix or all the streaming services, and let us know what you're watching down in the comments section below, and we may check them out, and we may actually talk about them on the show. So, Jeremiah, any final words before we get out of here?
Man, it was a good NFL season.
Yeah,
I enjoyed covering it with you for sure. Now it's time for the draft coming up in April, and then
yeah,
right now we got NBA that'll be kind of taking over, and then
yeah,
we got Champions League as well for soccer. So
yeah.
we got some exciting stuff coming out.
Yep, yep, definitely looking forward to those. If y'all are NBA fans, let us know your teams. If you're soccer fans, let us know your teams. Whether it's Premier League or La Liga or wherever it may be, hit us up in the comment section, and we'll definitely be down there. But thank you so much for listening and watching this episode of the Talking Sports podcast, and we'll see you guys next time. Thanks. Peace.
Peace.
What's up, y'all? I realized that Jeremiah and I completely forgot to mention the actual All Star game tomorrow. We're going back to the old format of East versus West. So it's going to be some interesting matchups. We got a lot of stars all on the court. Uh, I don't know who to go for. Got a lot of talent there. So it's going to be a great game. Y'all tune in and watch the All Star game Sunday night, Eastern Conference versus the Western Conference. And let us know down in the comment section who you think's going to win the game. And we'll talk about it. See y'all down there. Bye.